Fox News was in full collapse mode last night when a federal court struck down Donald Trump's tariffs against the world. A 3-judge panel on the International Trade Court in the United States said Trump did not have the ability to issue those tariffs by invoking emergency powers. So what were the Fox hosts doing? Well, you had Laura Ingraham getting the news live on TV. She was questioning MAGA Republican Senator Kennedy. He was not exactly prepared for this question. Watch what went down.
Senator, we just got breaking news.
They're building
Senator,
ships.
Yeah, Senator, I'm so sorry to interrupt. We just got other breaking news. It's a big news tonight. A federal court just blocked the majority of Trump's tariffs. The Court of International Trade saying he overstepped his authority under an International Emergency Economic Powers Act. This was, I believe, the 3-judge panel. There was a Reagan appointee, a Trump appointee, and a Biden appointee on this particular panel. This was kind of widely predicted among those who study trade closely. So those European tariffs blocked. Senator, your reaction?
You mean that a federal judge has intervened with the other two branches' ability to make policy? I'm shocked. That hasn't happened since yesterday.
5
it'll
minutes
be taken
ago.
up. It'll be appealed. I think it's pretty clear that the president has tariff authority. Congress gave it to him. Now you can debate whether that was a prudent move or not, but I think it's pretty clear that he has tariff authority.
So then Fox realized they had to kind of switch gears and let's go into some other questioning. You had MAGA Republican Congress member Dan Mauser from Pennsylvania on, and you could even see Laura Ingraham just losing her patience with all of her guests at this point. You know, she knows what she's doing. She knows the con that she is perpetuating as state regime media. So but this one was even too ridiculous for her. You have this MAGA Republican Congress member, Dan Mauser, basically saying that the Nippon Steel deal, acquiring U.S. Steel, is not an acquisition, he claims. He goes, it's like an investment, just part of Donald Trump's agenda. It's not actually an acquisition. It is an acquisition. That's why Donald Trump promised that he was going to block it to protect U.S. Steel, and then went back on that. Here, play this clip.
Mellon University.
Yeah, Congressman, I don't blame.
I think you for them to take.
Yeah, you're doing what you should do for your district. I don't have any doubt about that. But President Trump campaigned against a deal that would end up with ultimately 51% control of a critical industry like steel in the hands of a foreign entity. Now, you're saying we don't see the terms of the deal. I'm a lawyer, so I want to see the deal. I don't know why they're hiding the terms of the deal. I haven't seen the deal. Have you actually seen the terms of the deal?
No, I have seen where CFIUS is on it and how those national security concerns can be mitigated. And I also know that the president has reviewed it, as has, I believe, Scott Bessent, Howard Lutnick, and others. But it's still being structured. Laura,
well,
and
so wait,
it needs to be highly satisfactory.
Right, Congressman, yeah, but I don't mean to be, I'm not trying to be difficult, but it's still being structured. So, but we have heard repeatedly that this is a partnership. On the U.S. Steel website, it says it's a good thing, basically, I'm paraphrasing, that we are being acquired by Nippon. Are you saying tonight that they're not being acquired by Nippon? Because that's what it says on the U.S. Steel website.
I'm saying it's strictly an investment, just like the other investments that the president's economy that he's creating are being made. It will be American owned. It will be American run. The White House has investigative and oversight authority. And that is what we have, the deal that we have.
So then for the rest of the evening, Fox had to be like, all right, let's just not talk about the fact that Donald Trump just got destroyed on his tariffs against the world until we really formulate what are our talking points going to be. So then you have like Jesse Waters lying and saying that the real reason why we are cutting SNAP benefits and why we're cutting food stamps and all this assistance is because all of the recipients are using it to buy designer bags. No, they're not, Jesse, and stop with this offensive BS propaganda, man. Just stop it. Play this clip.
Beautiful Charlie Hurt. Before we get to legislation, I know I needed you to answer this question. Can you buy a designer bag with an EBT card?
You know, it's remarkable. It's amazing the stuff that you can buy in America. It's a free country with an EBT card. You can buy whatever you want. And, you know, it's so funny because if you actually cared about people who were relying on EBT cards and their children, you might limit what they could buy. I'm just thinking, you know, just spitballing.
I'm sure the kids don't love the purse. I'm sure the kids might want something else besides the purse. Probably anything but the purse. How about the count?
And then Jesse Waters has to go kind of extra deranged and weird. And then he starts talking about, you know, if you're rocking a spread collar, Trump is going to take you to Brooks Brothers. Yeah, because that's what most American people don't even know what the hell you're even talking about. Jesse Waters, play this clip.
Once the shoe check's done, up to the neck. Trump's got a thing for collars. If you're rocking a spread collar, Trump's taking you to Brooks Brothers. I know from experience. I was playing around last year and Trump hand-delivered me a shirt with a traditional collar. And since then, my collars have been less British.
Folks, what I want you to understand is that these are the elitists, the Jesse Waters, the Laura Ingrahams, the Sean Hannity, running a total con on the American people. And one of the things we saw when Fox settled the defamation lawsuit against Dominion for close to $800 million, when we read the text messages of these Fox hosts, they hated their audience. They talked about how stupid their audience was and that they knew they just had to spread the lies in order to make money. Like, we've seen the messages, yet their audience is like, oh, okay, Laura Ingraham, I guess okay.
Do you struggle with bloating and discomfort after your morning coffee? Well, after drinking Everyday Dose consistently, my bloating has reduced and my face, it feels less puffy. Everyday Dose is coffee plus benefits. It combines 100% Arabica coffee with powerful ingredients like lion's mane and chaga, collagen protein, and nootropics to fuel your brain, boost focus, and give you clean, sustained energy all day long. There's no crash and no jitters, just clean, sustained energy. The two products of theirs that you need to check out like right this second are their Coffee Plus and their Coffee Plus Bold. Coffee Plus is a mild roast. It's light and smooth. It's low acidity, which is easy on sensitive stomachs, and it gives you this mellow sort of energy. It's awesome. Coffee Plus Bold, that's their rich blend of medium roast, 100% Arabica coffee, robust and full-bodied, yet smooth. It gives you that extra boost of energy you're looking for. Both are 100% Arabica coffee, and they have functional benefits that are also mold-free. Now, Everyday Dose, they do third-party testing. I love that. Get 45% off your first subscription order of 30 servings of Coffee Plus or Bold Plus. You'll also receive a starter kit with over $100 in free gifts, including a rechargeable frother and gunmetal serving spoon by going to everydaydose.com/Meidas or entering Meidas at checkout. You'll get free gifts throughout the year. That's everydaydose.com/Meidas for 45% off your first order.
One of the things they were talking about on Fox throughout the day as well was Melania Trump spokesperson shuts down, quote, completely false theory that Donald Trump is attacking Harvard because Trump couldn't get into Harvard and that Barron applied to Harvard but couldn't get in. She shut it down, as our editor-in-chief Ron Filipkowski says sarcastically. Melania denies the story that Trump is going after Harvard because he and Barron were rejected. They ran this. This is why I call them state regime media, because they literally just launder the regime stuff. Like, what are you even talking about? Barron did not apply to Harvard. First Lady Melania Trump quashes the conspiracy theory about her son. I like that they say that that's the conspiracy theory and not all of the conspiracy theories that they launder in every day that actually impacts the American people. Like now, because of their deranged and unhinged conspiracy theories, you have the FDA preventing healthy people under the age of 65 from getting the COVID vaccine. You have all of their deranged election conspiracies, but I'm sure Fox is quashing the conspiracy that Barron applied to Harvard. That is so ridiculous. So then they bring on Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, who got famous from being on the Real World reality show and the Real World Road Rules Challenge. And then you have Sean Duffy like whining and complaining about the things that are quite literally his job. You're the transportation secretary. If you don't like the way public transportation looks, fix it. The world-class cities in the world have good public transportation systems. As Brandon Friedman says, that's why they're world-class cities. But these MAGAs are just a bunch of whiners. Oh, the liberals talk about public transportation and the climate all of the time. Here, play this clip.
Question.
Yes.
And by the way, listen, if you're a liberal, Larry, they want you to take public transportation. I'm okay with public transportation. We have a whole department here for it. The problem is that it's dirty. You have criminals, it's homeless shelters, it's insane asylums, and it's a work ground for the criminal element of the city to prey upon the good people. So if you want people to ride a subway, make it clean, make it safe. It's very, very simple. But these liberals, I don't know, Larry, maybe you figured them out. I don't get it. They don't think through this stuff, and they come up with stupid policy.
Well, they don't invite me to their dinner parties anymore in New York. I mean, so I just have to, deal with that.
They never invited me, Larry.
Mr. Secretary, another point.
And then like just straight up authoritarianism, straight up central planning. You have Linda McMahon. She reminds me, she's got that posture of Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, these billionaires or close to billionaire. She's a billionaire. Bessent's worth almost $1 billion. And they go, well, here's what we're going to do in the Trump administration. This is Scott Bessent. We're going to, and here Linda McMahon, the regime wants to make sure that the university, I'm not sure what that accent is, that the universities are complying with what the regime wants. I mean, this is just straight up authoritarianism 101. It's not like close to it. You're talking about using the government to attack private universities, even to attack public universities. Here, play this clip.
True, and I couldn't agree with Tammy Bruce more in that we do have a right to know who these students are. I mean, clearly this is in the hands of the State Department and the Secretary of Homeland Security. This is not falling under DOE or the Department of Education, relative to these actions. But the president was really clear. Who are these students that are coming into the country? Who are these teachers? It's part of what we were asking at Harvard. What is their screening process? How do we know who are coming? What ideology the teachers may be teaching? Do the students have any background of, being involved in any kind of activity that could cause, riots on campus? And I think we clearly have a right to know that. That's within the realm of expectation of students who are coming into our country.
Then bring in Kelly Loeffler, who runs the Small Business Administration. She's a billionaire. Bring in the billionaire who runs the Small Business Administration. That makes sense to you? And she talks about the WNBA continues to attack Caitlin Clark. And even Caitlin Clark's like, can you stop using the fact that I'm white and I'm a white WNBA player to push your agendas? Even Caitlin Clark's like, I just want to play basketball, guys. Leave me alone. But for Fox, they got to push this. Play this clip.
Well, Will, I was a team owner for a decade, and the WNBA continues to step on a rake when it comes to Caitlin Clark, who is their billion-dollar player. I mean, she's increased ratings beyond all expectations. It's incredible to see what she's done. But, now to the point of they're not only going after Caitlin Clark, they're going after the fans of the team that she plays for in that investigation. And, look, fans want sports to be about sports. They want sportsmanship. They want to see the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. And this league continues to kneecap itself when it comes to really promoting what could be a great sport and reverting back to social justice issues that were proven to be an abject failure for the league in 2020 and continue to be.
And then I got to give a hat tip to Jessica Tarlov, the pro-democracy voice on Fox, who just ripped these MAGA hosts to shreds. Watch what she had to say here. Play this clip.
There is an important distinction to be drawn between being accessible and being good, or delivering truth, or actually saying what's going on in the world. And now I'm all fuddled up in my head. But
He told Bibi Netanyahu to
Bibi,
cut it out.
we don't call him Bibi.
I always get that name wrong.
Well, don't. He's important. Donald Trump does this thing. Not only, like today, he says, we got 5.1 trillion in the Middle East. It was 1.5 trillion like a week ago. But most importantly, he sits down for these interviews, and I think Biden should have been more accessible. Maybe we would have had a competitive primary if he had been more accessible. But he does these interviews, and then he says, I don't know, or I'm not sure. Like, Kristen Welker asked him, do you need to uphold the Constitution? I don't know. Ask a lawyer. Are you sending migrants to Libya? I don't know. Ask Homeland Security. You just announced a new nominee for Surgeon General who didn't graduate from med school. Why? Bobby likes her. I don't know her. You have the power to bring back Abrego Garcia. I don't make that decision. Lawyers do.
You are arguing on behalf of him right now.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that is what the criticism is of him. He may be in front of you, but that doesn't mean that he's not spewing utter BS.
But you know what?
And here she talks about why the budget bill is awful. Play this clip.
The funny thing is, the reason why there's so much opposition to the bill is because it didn't go far enough. This is not about spending. I mean, you're saying this bill is awful because they're going to be cutting. We have to cut. We are heading toward a we're in a doom spiral.
But it balloons the deficit.
I'm saying that, but that's not why you're mad about it. You're mad that they might cut something, or they might cut taxes, and they might cut Medicaid. I'm saying is you should be mad that they're not cutting more. In terms of cutting Medicaid, let's be honest about the Medicaid stuff. This is about able-bodied young men and illegal immigrants. So push that aside.
Here she comes with the data about the polling about Trump.
And I'm also committed to the truth, Jesse. And the truth is that the Democrats are very unpopular, but so is a lot of what Donald Trump is doing. So in polling, Marquette, Fox News, all the goodies, he's down 16 on the economy, down 14 on foreign policy, 26 on handling tariffs, and 32 on cost of living. And this reconciliation bill that they're trying to pass through the Senate right now has opposition from more senators than they can handle. So you've got the Josh Hawleys of the world, who's miraculously concerned about throwing people off Medicaid. Rick Scott and Maria Bartiromo was raking him over the coals this morning about his views. Rand Paul, who has been talking about everything from how unconstitutional it is for Trump to be putting in these tariffs to how we're ballooning the deficit. Ron Johnson, Susan Collins, Jerry Moran. Those are a lot of senators that you've got to get on board. So if this is the big ticket item, right, this is the big marquee agenda piece that we're going to give tax cuts to the wealthy and we're going to take away food assistance and Medicaid. So we're hurting the poor to help the rich. That does not bode well for 2026. For the Republicans, or for 2028, when we're going to have a big, beautiful primary and we will get a great candidate and everyone will forget about the hoity-toity and we shall be victorious.
Incredible stuff right there by Jessica Tarlov. Oh, and then, of course, you have on Fox Business, the MAGA Republican congressman saying, we just have to listen to what Putin says. The real voice here has got to be Putin. Here, listen.
Russians don't seem to be taking President Trump very seriously. It's a sort of schizophrenic message coming out of them. I wouldn't take what Medvedev says very seriously, though. If you read his Twitter feed, it's absolutely, I don't want to say insane, but it's clearly absurd and not what you'd expect from a world leader. I think we really need to just listen to Trump, Putin, the Kremlin, and RNSC folks. That's the folks we need to be listening to.
But it also seems like President Trump is about to wash his hands of this. He's going nowhere. He seems to be giving the problem to the Europeans.
Well, he clearly wants the Europeans to step up. He's wanted that since his first term. And so he's very consistent on that regard. But the sanctions are a legitimate threat.
So ridiculous. Anyway, let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.